My only.
As the Magic hit Charlotte tonight, there are big questions on the minds of the Hornets faithful. Can former Rookie of the Year Larry Johnson regain the explosive form of seasons past and is so ready to go? Center Alonzo Mourning makes his first start tonight. Charlotte's future hinges on these two stars, and tonight they'll get a test from their old friends in black. Last season was a disappointment in the Queen City as injuries kept the Hornets out of the playoffs. But even without their two big men, Charlotte managed a season split with the Magic, winning 2 out of 4. But hold on tight, it's a new season, and one of the teams of the 90s is even better. Tonight, Brian Hill's bunch makes their first season stop in Charlotte and looks to take the sting out of the Hornets. Two expansion teams with high hopes and expectations. Two teams loaded with all-star talent, and two teams that could sorely use a win. It's the season series opener between the Magic and Hornets, and it's next on the Magic TV Network. Ed Rush, Scott Foster, Nolan Fine, the Zebras for the game tonight here at the Hive at the Charlotte Coliseum. And Alonzo Mourning wins the opening tap. His right toe is the one that hurts him. There's Scott Burrell, guarded by Donald Royal. Johnson against Grant. Mourning up top, he'll fire it up, it's short. And the Magic fight over the rebound, and Donald Royal, as he has done so well, leads the Magic in rebounding at 11.5 a game. He gets the first board of the night tonight.
We'll see how quickly the Magic run Penny Hardaway down to the low post, and there he is, Bogues trying to keep Penny away from the basket. Good call by the Magic, isolating Hardaway on the strong side, clearing everyone out, and trying to see how Muggsy's going to play Hardaway.
If you get him in foul trouble, you also have to worry about Michael Adams. He was traded for 2 second-round picks given up by Charlotte to the Washington Bullets for Michael Adams. So they've got two small bookend of point guards. Donald Royal from 17, shot at 16, and the rebound goes to Bogues. He is lightning quick. You better be ready to defend. Look at him just push it right into the paint and bring it back out. And O'Neal a block. Oh, he hammered it, and the Hornets thought it was a goaltend. No score early on.
Yeah, the entire Charlotte bench reacted to that play, but I think you lay it up there like that, and Shaquille's going to get every one of those. Shot Grant needs to take, yeah.
And he hits it.
He passed up the last time he caught it. I thought he had a clear shot the time before, and I guess he did also.
Horace shooting 62% early on, 16 points a game. He opens up with a jump shot. And the Magic have the early lead. Hersey Hawkins, a three, it's good. He had a terrible year last year.
Yeah, and he wants to play better this year. He worked extremely hard during the offseason to try to get himself in the best condition he could be in. He is there right now.
And he has struggled early on. He's hit 5 out of 17 field goals now on the year, averaging only 8 points a game. Quick foul on Mourning, 2 hands to the lower back.
This is going to be something for Mourning to really have to adjust to. He hasn't played, so he hasn't been subject to the calls, the closest of the calls by the officials this year as opposed to last season. So he's going to have to make sure he doesn't get in early foul trouble.
Donald Royal up top against Scott Burrell. And a blocking foul on Burrell. So far, all the calls go in the Magic's way, and the Hornets have committed their 3rd team foul. By the way, we forgot to mention the coaches for this game. They're kind of important, too, wouldn't you say? Brian Hill, the head coach of the Magic, Richie Adubato, Tree Rollins, the assistants. Brian wants to send his love to his lovely wife, Kay. They'll celebrate their 25th wedding anniversary tomorrow. And Alan Bristow, the head coach of the Charlotte team. Shaq, right hand, won't go. Long rebound, Burrell. He's their leading scorer in the early going. Scott Burrell out of UConn. Muggsy, an improved shooter, but not that time. And Anderson, a flat-footed rebound. Both of these teams, Jack, I think are going to get better as the season goes along.
Oh, of course, and that is particularly true when you consider that Mourning hasn't practiced much. Larry Johnson, although he is playing and has played, still trying to get in better condition after missing a lot of time last season.
Boy, and it's as quiet in here as I have ever heard it in my life. 9:45 to play in the first quarter. Orlando by 1. There's LJ, the grandmama. He hits the first shot he takes tonight. Hornets really missed him. They went 9-22 in the 31 games he missed last year. No question about it. You can't lose a guy like LJ and expect to win. Long rebound to Shaq in the lane. Right hand hook rims out. Royal was pushed, no call, and the Hornets run out. 3-on-2 break. Muggsy shows and goes and hits.
That's what you have to stop right there. You just can't allow Muggsy to get to the painted area without getting a hand in his face. The real problem, though, he's so good off the dribble.
Hardaway wants it up top, illegal. Royal pointed it out to the official.
Well, Larry Johnson dropped back in there as well from the top of the key.
And he was rung up, was Larry Johnson. Joe Dumars last night put on a show, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
Oh, baby. 10 3-point field goals and another foul on Charlotte. This one's on Hawkins. Boy, they are really calling it close here on Charlotte.
The thing that the Magic are doing right now is they are isolating, whether it's Nick Anderson or Penny Hardaway. Nick's so much stronger than Hersey Hawkins, and of course Penny with the obvious size advantage on Muggsy.
Well, they called that foul on Johnson, not Hawkins. Interesting. He was the guy right on top of Nick. They may have to change that. We'll see. Anderson backs in, draws double. Grant Hardaway fakes three, spins away. Muggsy almost stole it and did. Mourning couldn't catch it, and there's a bit of the rustiness that we were worried about.
Muggsy with the quick hands. That's why it's difficult, even at his size, to take him down low. He's always around the ball. He's so low to the floor. If you dribble the ball, he has a chance to pick it off.
Only 7 to shoot. Penny inbounds to Horace Grant. He'll take a free throw line jump shot and bury it. He's 2 out of 2. Horace had a reunion of sorts with his former assistant coach of the Bulls, John Bach. He's now on the Charlotte bench. Defensive coach. 8:30 to play. Hornets by a point. Boy, what a luxury it is to play LJ one-on-one, and they got Shaq. Will they continue it? Yeah, I think so.
Shaquille turned his head just long enough to allow Zoe to work free under the basket, got both hands in the lower body, and got called for the quick foul. Watch right here as Alonzo Mourning catches it. There's the push as he lets the shot go. Quick whistle.
Alonzo Mourning, a dream teamer, got hurt December 27th. He lost 31 games. Check that, he lost 23 games last season for Charlotte. Boy, imagine the Magic losing Penny Hardaway and Shaq, or Shaq and Horace Grant. How many games would Orlando win? Grant uncontested. He's 3 out of 3.
The Magic handling the full court pressure, and it's Grant that's been the outlet so far.
Charlotte by 2. 10-8 with the ball here. Mourning puts it on the floor, runs into trouble. Shuffles his feet, no whistle. Hawkins beats Anderson in the lane, little runner. That won't go. Ball knocked out. Anderson against Bogues. Catches, almost travels.
Yeah, see, that's the problem with Bogues. I mean, you just go to grab the ball. You don't want to put it on the floor. You just come up with it.
Penny posts up, spins, fires up good. That'll help.
And a quick move to the basket by Hardaway took away all chances for the double team.
Penny averaging 17 points, 50%. Has had turnover trouble. 9 assists, 9 TOs. Mourning outside. He's got 5. Right flexor tendon on the big toe. That's what's been ailing him. 7.5 minutes to go in the opening quarter. Again, they look for Hardaway. They double him immediately around the horn.
Nice movement. That shot's got to go.
Got to hit.
But that's nice ball movement. Good job by Nick Anderson finding the open place.
Now the Hornets run. Here's Scott Burrell all day to shoot the 3. My goodness.
Oh, he waited and waited and waited and decided, hey, why not?
Well, the Hornets haven't been shooting the ball well at all early on.
Something about having the Magic in town, though, with this team.
Yeah, just 43% for the year, 60% so far. And they have a 5-point lead. Shaq fouled by Mourning, and he hits. 2 on Alonzo.
That might be Burrell coming from the weak side with the hand.
They called it on him. My mistake.
He got him down low. Good concentration by Shaquille.
So Burrell picks up his second. Hornets over the limit. Shaq will go to the line for a 3-point opportunity. 15-12. This game's everything as advertised here in the first quarter.
How do you want your steak? Medium.
A lot of points on the board. Sprewell, Hardaway, Ricky Pierce out west.
And how about Shaq at the free throw line now? O'Neal is now 19 for 23. But interestingly now, Shaq 11 out of 12 in the first 3 quarters of games, 6 out of 12 in the fourth quarter. Interesting statistic. LJ way short, nearly an air ball. Mourning traveled, but no whistle. Anderson tried to steal it, and they asked for help. It'll go to the Magic.
Good job.
41.
Nick Anderson coming over that time, and I'm not sure if Nick touched it or not, but he did such a good job of acting towards the official. The official called it in Nick's favor.
Well, Scott Burrell sits down, and the 6th man of the year last year, Del Curry, checks in. Boy, he is instant offense. And is the answer to an interesting trivia question. Who is the all-time leading Charlotte Hornets scorer? Not Kelly Tripucka, nope, not Rex Chapman, not Mourning, not Johnson, it's Del Curry. Anderson presses the boards hard, and over the back or out of bounds. What's the call?
I think out of bounds. Nick Anderson, boy, he is playing with a lot of energy here in this ball game.
Charlotte with the ball up to 15-13 here early. Jack Gibbons, Chip Carey, your commentators tonight on the Magic TV Network. Morning's lefty hook short. Shaq lost the rebound to LJ. He'll pull up. Royal can't outfight Morning for the rebound. Look at him work. In the lane, falling down. It'll go against Horace Grant. Oh, the Hornets giving it to the Magic on the boards here early. And
the real question as you watch Alonzo Mourning, how long can he keep this up? Having not played, he was concerned about his stamina coming into this ball game. He seems to be breathing very deeply right now, and there he is coming up for that offensive rebound. Horace Grant right there has to bump him just a little bit, and you see right there how Zoe is not as strong as he normally would be, because later in the season you're going to see him get that rebound and take it back up and throw it down, I think.
Morning got the roll. He has 6 points off to a good start. We mentioned Muggsy Bogues and Michael Adams. Well, they don't lose anything at all. They go from Alonzo Mourning to Robert Parrish up front. Oh,
pretty good looking team.
Yeah, I like this Charlotte team.
Good looking team.
If they stay healthy, and that's been their problem. If they can stay healthy, they're going to be a real force. Here, balls listen to Alonzo up here. Everybody else does too. Don't want to mess with him. 6 minutes left, halfway through the first quarter. Good game. Penny low post. Alonzo or Johnson comes over and block. Penny over his head. No, O'Neal couldn't tap. Here comes Del Curry left wing. LJ in transition. Mourning on the floor. Lefty hook is good.
He looks very, very good. Alonzo Mourning running the floor very, very well.
Charlotte by 6. Magic really shooting the ball poorly here. 6 out of 14 so far, and they've had several early and easy opportunities inside. Anderson cuts and beats Hawkins, leaning 8-footer. That won't go. O'Neal rebound. He's taking the game over inside. Won't go to the top by Grant.
Horace Grant with the follow. Good hang time by Horace Grant.
8 points for Horace Grant. The rest of the Magic team has 7. Muggsy for 2.
Now that's what Muggsy, where his game has improved so much since his first couple seasons in the NBA. It used to be you drop back off of him and keep him away from the basket.
Penny gave up the dribble in between. O'Neal, they let him go. He got position and Mourning wisely laid off. Robert Parrish and Kenny Gaddison will check in for the Hornets at the next break. LJ left alone. That wouldn't go. And a loose ball foul. It's on Mourning. Number 2 on Alonzo.
Well, I know why Alonzo is reacting as he did on that play. Gaddison and Chief checks into the ball game. He is thinking that Shaquille pushed him off with his arm that was shielded from the official, and that's why he reacted as he did.
So Mourning leaves 9 points, 2 fouls, and Shaq goes to the line. O'Neal with 5 points. He's perfect at the free throw line. 4 of the 9 Orlando rebounds.
Mourning gave the Hornets just what they needed. They wanted him to come in and play hard for 5 or 6 minutes. He did that. They will bring him back in the second period and give him about the same amount of time.
5:02 left. Charlotte by 4. Chance for the Magic to cut it to 3 here. And Shaq does that. He's 2 out of 3 at the stripe tonight. Tree Rollins readies himself. Curry plays hide and seek. Donald Royal works against him. Here's the Chief. Shaq against Parrish. Chief loads up, gets O'Neal airborne and hits. How many times have we seen that?
Oh, too many times. And I'm afraid it's not going to be the last.
Shaq has scored the last 8 Magic points. The foul and make it 10.
And Horace Grant with the assist. You know, Horace averaged almost 4 assists last year in Chicago. That's a part of his game that you don't hear people talking about a whole lot. He's a pretty decent passer. And, of course, with that high post offense that Chicago ran, he handled it out top a lot. And you'll see him right here with the bounce pass. Had to get it down on the floor. Del Curry came over and got Shaquille on the arm.
So 10 consecutive O'Neal points. He has 8 in the game, and the Magic trail by 3. Del Curry, that's the layup for him.
Layup, you're right.
Del Curry, he can shoot it, 40%.
One of those guys you can't leave for a minute. I mean, you can't turn your back on him.
Pick and roll play here. Hardaway and Grant. Magic swing it around to Anderson now. Shaquille against Parrish. Spinning, firing, fading, won't go. Rebound to the Chief. Ball tapped away by Hardaway, and he'll be whistled for his first. First foul on Penny. That is the 3rd Orlando team foul at 4:04 of the quarter.
Tree checks in. Shaq will take a breather.
Boy, I tell you what.
This kind of pace, everyone's going to need a break.
This is the all-Geritol matchup up front, isn't it? Tree against Robert Parrish. Del Curry.
Great defense. Nick Anderson.
Whoa. Long rebound. Magic picked the ball up. Robert Parrish and Tree Rollins both still very spry for their age. In NBA years. Royal cutting on the baseline, beats Gaddison beautiful.
Good job, Donald, putting it on the floor. Good job, Penny Hardaway drawing the defense.
Bogues gave it up. He can't pick that ball back up. That's travel. Charlotte thought it was tapped, but it wasn't.
No, it was not. And Bogues over-penetrated that time, just a little bit too deep in the paint. No one there when he tried to make the pass.
That's it's a case of him doing his job too well.
Yes.
3:25 to go. The Magic can pull to within one or tie it with a three-point shot here. Screen for Nick Anderson. Tree sets it. Nothing there. Now he pops out. Anderson tries baseline. Beats one, beats two, beats Gaddison for a layup.
Well, Nick gets around that corner now better than ever. He's handling the ball better, has worked on it to improve that part of his game.
Nick, career-wise against the Hornets, an 18-point-a-game scorer, has his first two tonight. And it's Charlotte 25, the Magic 24. Hawkins inside, rejected by Grant. Anderson saves, throws a bullet down the floor. Bogues intercepts. 2:50 left. Charlotte plays 3-on-4 here. Hawks for three is good.
Just can't leave this team. One of my keys was to challenge the shooters. This team, a very, very good spot-up shooting team.
Charlotte again by 4 now. 2.5 to play. Grant against Gaddison. Curry against Anderson. Bogues against Hardaway. Curry overplays, knocks it away. 5 seconds to shoot. Timeout goes to the Magic. Good ball game here in Charlotte. Glad you're with us tonight. Hornets by 4 with 2:23 to play. Other could love. Tom Tolbert. Remember him from the Magic a couple years ago? Well, he's back with the Hornets team that originally drafted him. He's still got that bad Bobcat haircut.
Oh, boy. Don't you just love this guy?
Oh, he's nuts. They were the
free spirit.
Charlotte, of course, played Golden State over in Paris. And Tom said, yeah, I want to bungee jump off the Eiffel Tower.
And he would do it if they'd let him.
French folks didn't like that. But Tom and his wife, Lori, expecting their first child. And they want to make sure everybody in Orlando that were so kind to them receive their warm wishes and hopes and happiness and all the like. So, Tom, good luck to you up here in Charlotte, and especially with the new baby. That's going to be great.
The Magic, 11 of 23 from the field. Charlotte, 11 of 21. So both teams shooting the ball fairly well here early. A lot of shots up, though, here in this first period.
How about the Chief and Tree Rollins? Man, what an interesting matchup that is tonight. 5 seconds to shoot now. The Magic better hurry. Penny had it stolen. Royal gets it off. It's short. Parrish rebounds. Ball didn't hit iron, so Charlotte runs. Michael Adams is checked in out of Boston College. Number 23. He can shoot it from three-point range, too. Horace Grant knocks it away. Another example of that fine defense he plays. Adams beats Hardaway, gets to the middle, and Penny reaching in is called for number 2. Probably that is the case. Here comes Shaq. 4th Magic team foul, and here is a look at the 2 elder statesmen. Wow.
35 seasons and all the minutes. Boy, 66,000 minutes.
Wow. That's a lot of minutes. And Michael Adams at the free throw line still shoots it from the right side of that lane, not on center.
Wouldn't have enough space on that screen to put up all the points and all the block shots, all the rebounds, all the games they've played.
Under 2 minutes here. Charlotte by 4, 28-24. Anderson catches, got a mismatch in the lane. He's hit, no call. Rebound, Hawk. Back comes Charlotte. Hersey Hawkins out of Bradley. Bullet pass to the Chief. A layup is good.
And that's the old fella running the floor. Boy, he looks different in that purple uniform.
Doesn't look right.
Oh, it sure doesn't.
31-24.
I think a lot of people will say the same thing about Horace Grant, though, being in the Magic uniform.
Penny turns the corner with 2 fouls. Beautiful move.
Penny, no break tonight. Boy, you have to chase Muggsy Bogues. Then have Michael Adams coming into the ball game. No rest.
Adams can really shoot it. He loads up. No. Rebound shot. Magic want to run, push the ball right back at the Hornets. If you rebound the ball, you got a chance to do that. Nearing a minute. Grant now from 19. Keeps on stroking from the outside. 5 out of 5. He's got 10, does Horace Grant. Boy, what a luxury that is to have not only the defense and the rebounding, but that shot. Man,
he just does it all. Complete player.
Hawkins over Royal. Hit a good shot.
Man, this has been fun on offense. Now both coaches will talk to their teams about defense.
What defense? 40 seconds left.
I think, though, the Magic have done what they wanted to do here in this first period, and that is to hang tough, not allow Charlotte to put together that big run. They try to knock you out right here in the first period.
Adams just blows by Hardaway. No help. And Hardaway.
Yeah, he has to back off. He has 2 personal fouls. No one there to clean him up as Michael Adams got to the basket.
Veteran move by Adams to get to the hole. Magic have all but about 4.5 seconds here with which to work. Quick pass from Shaq to Royal. He's smacked. Ball out of bounds. It'll go to Charlotte. Hornet ball. 15 seconds left. Larry Johnson's going to check back in. And now the Hornets get the final shot.
Well, that's the problem with taking the ball to the basket with that much time left on the shot clock. You give the other team plenty of time now to bring it down and get a good look at the basket.
And Brian Shaw spells Penny Hardaway, who leaves with, as Jack said, 2 fouls, 3 assists, 6 points.
Well, at times I look at Brian Shaw and he looks like he's about 12 years old.
Oh, man. We need to go to the movies with him. We can get a kids fair for him.
That's probably right.
Save a couple bucks. 35-30 here. Remember B.J. Armstrong when he first broke in with the Bulls? Went to the Sears Tower, and all honesty, they charged him the kid's fee to climb to the top. Del Curry, too much time, baby. He's just an assassin. Now the Magic cough it up at the end of the first quarter. Charlotte 38. Boy, this is as well as they have played all year. Hornets 38, Magic 30. Not much D. If you like offense, you better keep the channel right where it is. Here tonight, first quarter in the books. Charlotte 38, Magic 30. A look at our first quarter stats brought to you by the official maker of NBA uniforms, practice wear, and warm-ups. That's Champion.
Well, the percentages are good, but look at the number of shots both teams have gotten up at the basket. 28 for the Magic, 26 for the Hornets. A lot of shots going up. Everything else pretty close to being even. As the Hornets 3 of 4 from behind the three-point line.
So Brian Shaw takes over the keys to the Magic offense, leads the team in assists in the first 2 games. Parrish against O'Neal, double teaming with Gaddison. Shaq strong move, ripped down by Grandmama Larry Johnson. Here comes Del Curry, left wing. He's not shy. He'll pull up. No, pass off instead. O'Neal the foul and the push. Lazy foul on O'Neal. That's his second.
Yeah, not a real good play by Shaq that time as he picks up his second personal foul.